Welcome back to another video. Another match reaction. West Ham. What was the score again? Oh yeah, 6. West Ham United 0, Arsenal 6. Just a few reminders before we get onto the game. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. At least, please. We've got the watch along for Nigeria Ivory Coast at 8. So whenever you're seeing this, 8 today, obviously, we will have the watch along, and tomorrow we'll have the aftermath at 3 p.m. live on this channel as well. Talking in a bit more detail about this game, hopefully with Alfie, as we did on Friday. If you watched the match preview on Friday, thank you very much as well. Let's get straight into this, man. Going into this game, I predicted a draw. I predicted a 1-1 draw. That might be one of the worst predictions ever. And for me, that is a positive prediction. Because I could have said we could have got battered today. But I definitely wasn't expecting a win today. But I wasn't expecting 6-0, and I wasn't expecting 4-0 at half-time either. And you got to understand, I'm a West Ham fan, so I've seen a lot of bad games. That's one of the worst games I've ever watched. And I've been a fan for all my life. I'm 20 years old. I haven't had to suffer the other relegations, but I had to still suffer Avram Grant. And this is up there. Some of the Allardyce football, we weren't always in a huge struggling position under Allardyce, but this one's up there. Obviously, Brighton last year was up there. Brighton away last season. I went to Newcastle 5-1, and I pretty much had a full-on mental breakdown on a match reaction. And I'm not even going to be salty. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I'm past being angry. So this is just going to be one of them rants that's just not even with anger anymore. It's just tiredness, exasperation. And listen, Arsenal fans, I usually go at Arsenal fans a lot. I go at Arsenal fans a lot within reason. But today, it's justified. We can hold that, that's fine. They won. They bullied us. They outplayed us. 4-0. Don't get me wrong. Some of the goals were preventable, to say the least. But what I will say, Trossard's goal. Areola should have probably done better for the Saka. I haven't watched it back, but he could have done better for the Saka penalty, obviously. 2 set pieces that could be dealt with when you're a David Moyes team that wants to be good in the air, be tough to beat, all of that. You got to deal with set pieces. The Declan Rice goal, you can't even say anything about. That's just a fantastic goal, and I know it's a bit of a thing now. It's become because of Declan Rice this fixture. And listen, we beat them twice, in once in the cup that we ended up wasting against Liverpool, and that was off a really bad loss against Brentford at that time. And then we won against Arsenal. Our last win was against Arsenal. Our last win was 2-0, winning at their ground, and all of that hard work, and I thought it was actually a very good defensive performance at their ground. All of that's now gone to waste because we've now got battered 6-0. The obvious. I'm going to be saying the obvious. I've been saying the same thing week in, week out. Let's talk about some of the players first. Areola, apart from the penalty, I ain't got a problem with you. I ain't got a problem. Probably prevented it from being 7, 8, 9, or 10. I'm pretty sure it was 7-0, not 7-0. Was it 7? I don't even remember. It was definitely 6-0. 6-0 around the 60th minute or something like that. I generally was terrified that it could have been 10. I was terrified that we was going to be the record-breaking, thing, the first team to concede 10 goals in the Premier League. Southampton and Bournemouth would have been mocked for the 9 goals they conceded in their games. The last West Ham Arsenal league game I went to was that 5-1. So maybe I'm the problem. But I didn't go to the 2-2 last year because of the 5-1 against Newcastle, I was like, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not going. The year before, I had some personal stuff that I had to deal with. So I couldn't go to the 2-1 loss. But the 2-2 draw was just my decision not to go. But as I said, I understand Arsenal fans coming at us. But I want to say this: why the fuck are Tottenham fans coming for us? Your North London rivals are going for a title race. You don't care about us, as you claim. You don't think it's a rivalry between West Ham and Tottenham. You think you're bigger than you are. You haven't won a trophy in 15 years, nearly coming up to 16 years. And you're trying to laugh at us. I'm sure we can play plenty of times where Tottenham fans have left. Now, for certain people that are criticising West Ham fans for leaving, I want to say this, and I watched the SDS podcast, yeah, and Faisal was on there. I saw him tweet about, I don't care if you're losing 7-0 or something, you shouldn't be leaving at 45 minutes. This is coming from a Real Madrid fan who has seen how many Champions Leagues in his life, seen how many leagues in his life, seen Ronaldo play for his club, seen Gareth Bale, seen Benzema. Need I go on? Modric, Cruz. Need I go on? Marcelo, Pepe, Ramos, Casillas. Brother, you don't know the struggle. Allow it. You do not know the struggle. Like, I'm not. It's not even a struggle because I'm a Premier League. I'm a fan of a team in the Premier League, so it's not even really a struggle for me either. I'm not. It's not like I'm Reading right now, where my club is being run to fuck. But you cannot say what fans should and shouldn't do when you've never had any sort of struggle as a fan. You're a Real Madrid fan, bro. But anyway, moving on. Some of the players, as I said, I got a bit off track there. Yeah, Areola, fine. Vladimir Sufa, I'm sick of him. Every week, hoofing the ball, doesn't deal well with pressure, can't use his weak foot. Is one of the most one-footed players I've ever seen in my life. Hasn't put a good cross in how many games? People were talking about his assist at the start of the season. I've been saying since the start of the season, this guy's not good enough anymore. The guy's lost mobility. He's lost his 1v1 ability. And yeah, I don't think Emerson was that bad. Apart from when he should have given it back to the goalkeeper in the first half. I thought he dealt with Saka all right up until, well, when Saka scored his, second goal. Even though I'm going to get onto his left centre back, Naya Faged, a guy who doesn't know how to head him in the box. A man who got done in by Rasmus Højlund. And I've listed his mistakes many times in other videos on this channel. And again, got done in by Saka. A bit like similar to how he got done in by Leon Bailey at Aston Villa. Kurt Zuma was bad. Horrible to watch. Again, well, the worst game I've seen Zuma play was the Bournemouth game. Zuma's fallen off the past few games. Apart from Man United, he wasn't that bad. But Sheffield United, he was part of the problem for the goal. Bournemouth, he put Phillips under pressure, he threw him under the bus. And today he was bad at even directing his headers. And he's even fallen off to, even when he looked awkward, he would still be able to keep the ball. But I also have to say, our centre-backs keep launching it up the pitch. Our right-back keeps launching it up the pitch. Not only can they not play football, we don't coach to play football. I'm just going to put this camera nearer to more light so you guys can see me better. We keep hoofing it up the pitch. It goes nowhere. And then the other team get the ball. How many times are we going to keep doing this? Because Zuma does it, Aged does it, Sufal does it. So not only is it just these lot cannot play football, it's these lot don't want to play football because they've not been coached to play football, because we've been coached to launch the ball up to Jared Bowen, who is half the size of Gabriel and Saliba, who, don't get me wrong, did well holding up the ball at the Emirates. But this was a completely different game. Their defenders were class today. Their defenders, there's a really good centre-back partnership. And Bowen up front is a waste. put him on the right, and he will start scoring again. Mohamed Kudus didn't get anything because the guy cannot work with Soufal. Get him a fullback that can overlap, or just put him in the middle. We've made this squad lighter by selling 2 players that I wanted sold, but we didn't get replacements. Ward-Prowse is not a left winger. Ward-Prowse is not a 10. He's an 8. But Moyes either plays him with a 6 or a 10 or left wing. Anywhere but his normal position. We're going to come on to the manager in a minute. But the audacity to take Alvarez off and to take Zuma off at half-time but not take Agerd off. I don't know what this manager's on. We actually kept a clean sheet at the Emirates with Ogbonna and Mavropanos. So I was worried going into this game with that centre-back partnership because I like Zuma, but he's been off form, and I don't like Agerd. Don't like him. Probably a nice guy. Don't like him as a player. He's not good enough. Simple. Who else was there? Thomas Souček did nothing again. Was passing backwards even when we were 4-0 down. This guy cannot pass forwards. He cannot pass in general. Was getting out-jumped by Kai Havertz on headers. And Kai Havertz didn't even play well today. Shock, by the way. Thomas Souček is there for aerial ability. Because he hasn't scored since the Arsenal game. I'm not expecting him to score every game. He's a midfielder. What I'm expecting is for a midfielder to pass 5 yards. That's what I'm expecting. When they ask what do West Ham fans want, what I want is players to play in the right positions. I would like competitiveness around European spaces. That's going to fall off very soon, and you'll see that. I haven't looked at the table, but we're probably 8th by now. But we're probably going to get knocked out of the Europa League in whoever we face first. We've got no chance of competing for anything in that Europa League. We threw away 2 cups. I don't know why. I don't know what the arrogance of the manager is to throw away 2 cups. Just because you won one doesn't mean you can't win another. Doesn't mean you shouldn't try to win another. Okay. Who played on the left? I don't even know. Who played? Ben Johnson played on the left. That was right. A right back played on the left wing today. This manager looked at the Man United 3-0 loss and was like, yes, let's start the exact same lineup. You're playing a right back, left winger. Is that how much you didn't like Maxwell Cornet? You would rather sell Ben Rama and Fornals, who are not good enough, but can play there, rather than a Ben Johnson that doesn't play there, plays right back or left back. This guy's played it everywhere. He's played in midfield before. He's played in the back 3. And as centre back, he's played wing back. He's played both full backs. He's played on the right wing. He's played on the left wing. We're now just a number 10 and striker, which at some points he was up front in the second half, away from him playing every outfield position. He's going to go and goal at some point. When Areola and Fabianski, if they ever get injured, both of them at the same time, Ben Johnson will be the guy to go and goal. I'm sick of this manager. And he will always be a legend for winning the trophy. But I've been saying this since the Arsenal game on Boxing Day where we lost 3-1. It's time to go. And you should have ended on a high. That Batman thing of... I think it's Batman. I don't watch Batman. But I know the phrase of... you die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Something like that. And that's what he's doing. When you're seeing these pundits, these ex-players and these YouTubers that don't watch us week in, week out, saying, be careful what you wish for. Or look what Moyes has done. You're going off sentiment. You're not going off now. This is painful to watch. This is painful. And I hope that answers your question of what do we want. I'm not asking... I'm going to repeat this for like the 50th time. I'm not asking for mad, like, even like Ange Postecoglou level of football. I'm not asking for that. I'm not asking for De Zerbi football. I'm not necessarily asking for that. I'm not asking for Xabi Alonso football. I'm not necessarily asking for all of that. I just want a bit more versatility in tactics and to get the best out of the players that you have, the attacking players. Because what's the point of playing defensive football if you can't defend? If you can't organise your team? If there's nothing to hit the counter on? We lost 6-0 at home. It doesn't matter if it's Arsenal, or if it's Plymouth, or if it's Dagenham and Redbridge, big up the East London brothers, or if it's Bromley, anyone, it could be any team. You don't lose 6-0 at home. No, you should never ever lose 6-0 at home. Like 3-0 is bad enough. Like we would have still got banter today if it was a 1-1 for a long time and then Declan Rice scored the winner. It would have been like, oh well, but we wouldn't have been moaning this much because it would have been much of a scoreline. And there would have been a lot more excuses for this manager. But come on now. There's no way the media can defend this. And if they do, I'll make a video on it and I'll go through why they are all wrong. Because I could do that, and I've had enough of the media try to gaslight us, the people that watch us week in, week out, that can see what the problems are. And we have to hold that. And we still haven't won a game in 2024. A draw with Brighton, I lost to Bristol City, and I know we drew with them as well. Draw with Bournemouth, draw with Sheffield United, lost to Man United. This game. It's tiring. I don't understand. I just don't understand, like, the logic. I don't understand I don't understand anything. If this manager gets a 2-year contract, we're so fucked for the next 2 years. We are so fucked. Because once he gets that 2-year contract, he will not get sacked. Because you think the owner wants to pay compensation. This guy loves money. He does not want to pay anything. It's not even like... I don't want to go back to days where I'm like constantly going to go at the owners all the time. But if there isn't enough change in the summer, it's going to go back to that. Going back to this transfer window, we invested well, like the summer window. We invested well. But we could have got a lot more. There's a lot of excuses again. January window. Sold 2 players, got no one. And Calvin Phillips, yeah, is a body in midfield, but we didn't need him. And when I mean didn't need him, the type of player that wants game time now is at the CDM position. It's not what we needed. Ward-Prowse and Souček are the 8s. Alvarez is the 6. Phillips is the 6. Fair enough. But if you really cared that much about a 6, you should have kept Flynn Downs. Not saying he's better than Calvin Phillips. I'm just saying that you never gave him a chance in the first place. Maxwell Cornet still can't get minutes. Or many minutes. Even when we're losing. I feel like I'm going in circles. I feel like I say the same things week in, week out. And it's painful. It's painful to watch. It's painful to talk about. But this season's over. If you think we're getting Europe this season, you are delusional. We're not getting Europe. This is our last season in Europe. For a long time. A long, long time. With this manager especially. If this manager stays for another 2 years, this is our last season in Europe under him. Whether we ever get back there, cool, whatever. I don't know. But that's the end, because I've run out of things to say. We'll talk about more of it tomorrow. Make sure to like and subscribe. African Cup of Nations watch along at 8 o'clock. Make sure to follow all the social medias in the description, and the email is there for the inquiries. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers, and yeah, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.